The Intrepid Exploration Team. A team of intrepid human explorers was sent to a newly discovered, mysterious planet on the edge of the known galaxy. Their mission was to study this uncharted world and gather data that could help unlock the secrets of the cosmos. Leading the team was Commander Sarah Hawkins, a seasoned space traveler with a keen scientific mind. Alongside her were specialists in xenobiology, xenorchaeology, and xenotechnology, all eager to uncover the wonders that this alien planet held. As the team's shuttle descended through the lush, verdant atmosphere, they caught their first glimpse of the planet's indigenous life forms. Towering, reptilian creatures stalked across the landscape, their scales gleaming in the binary sunlight. "Those must be the apex predators of this world," remarked Dr. Lena Patel, the team's xenobiologist. "We'll need to exercise extreme caution around them." The rest of the crew murmured in agreement, their hands instinctively drifting towards the weapons holstered at their sides. All except one. The young, idealistic xenoanthropologist, Ethan Nakamura. "Wait, we shouldn't just assume they're dangerous," Ethan interjected. "Perhaps we can try to communicate with them, learn about their culture. Who knows, they might even be friendly." The seasoned members of the team looked at Ethan with a mixture of amusement and skepticism. Commander Hawkins simply shook her head and continued guiding the shuttle towards a suitable landing site. As the team disembarked and began setting up their base camp, Ethan couldn't help but steal glances at the massive predators roaming the alien landscape. While the others remained on high alert, Ethan felt a growing curiosity and fascination with these remarkable creatures. That night, as the rest of the team huddled around the campfire, discussing defensive strategies and escape plans, Ethan slipped away unnoticed. He made his way towards the edge of the camp, drawn by the haunting calls of the predators in the distance. Against all better judgment, Ethan began to approach the towering beasts, his hands raised in a gesture of peace. To the astonishment of his crewmates, one of the predators turned to face him, its glowing eyes studying the young human intently. "What are you doing?" hissed Commander Hawkins, rushing to Ethan's side and pulling him back. "Those things are dangerous. Get away from them before they tear you apart." Ethan, however, remained undeterred. "I don't think they mean us any harm," he said, his voice calm and measured. "Look at them. They're curious, not aggressive." The commander and the rest of the team could scarcely believe their eyes as Ethan slowly reached out a hand, allowing the predator to sniff it. To their utter amazement, the creature did not lash out, but instead let out a low, rumbling sound that almost seemed friendly. "Incredible," Ethan breathed, a look of wonder on his face. "I think we may have just made a new friend." Bridging the gap, the rest of the exploration team was utterly bewildered by Ethan's brazen actions and his apparent ability to interact with the fearsome alien predators. Commander Hawkins angrily pulled him aside, demanding an explanation. "What in the galaxy were you thinking, Nakamura?" she hissed. "Those creatures could have ripped you to shreds in an instant." Ethan stood his ground, undaunted by the commander's stern reprimand. "But they didn't, did they?" he replied calmly. "I think there's more to these animals than we're giving them credit for. If we approach them with open minds and a willingness to understand, we might be able to coexist peacefully." Hawkins scoffed, shaking her head in disbelief. "Coexist? You can't be serious. These are apex predators. They see us as nothing more than prey. The moment we let our guard down, they'll tear us apart." While the rest of the team shared the commander's concerns, Ethan remained undeterred. Over the next few days, he began spending more and more time observing the alien creatures, trying to decipher their behavior and communication patterns. Much to the dismay of his crewmates, he even started leaving small offerings of food near the edge of the camp, hoping to establish a rapport with the predators. To everyone's surprise, the predators did not seem to view the humans as a threat. They would occasionally approach the camp, sniffing the air curiously, but they never made any aggressive moves. Ethan took this as a positive sign, and he redoubled his efforts to gain their trust. "Don't you see?" he said excitedly to the others. "They're curious about us, just as we are about them. If we can find a way to communicate, to understand each other, we might be able to forge a lasting bond." The rest of the team remained skeptical, but Ethan's unwavering dedication and infectious enthusiasm began to sway some of them. Slowly, a few of the more adventurous members of the crew started to join Ethan in his interactions with the predators, offering small treats and observing their behavior. As the days turned into weeks, the rift between Ethan and the rest of the team began to widen. While Hawkins and the others remained on high alert, constantly preparing for a potential attack, Ethan grew increasingly comfortable in the presence of the alien creatures. One day, as Ethan was sitting cross-legged near the edge of the camp, a massive predator approached him. The other team members held their breath, hands poised on their weapons, but Ethan remained calm, extending a hand with a piece of fruit. To their astonishment, the predator gently took the offering and settled down beside Ethan, letting out a rumbling purr-like sound. "See," Ethan said, turning to face his awestruck crewmates. "I told you they're not just mindless killers. They have their own language, their own culture. If we take the time to understand them, we might just find that we have more in common than we think." A remarkable bond. As the weeks passed, Ethan's bond with the alien predators only grew stronger. While the rest of the exploration team remained wary and distrustful, the young xenanthropologist spent countless hours observing and interacting with the towering creatures. To Ethan's delight, the predators seemed to respond positively to his overtures of friendship. They would approach him without aggression, sometimes even allowing him to gently touch their scales or offer them food. The rest of the team watched in astonishment as Ethan communicated with the predators through a series of subtle gestures and vocalizations. "How is he doing that?" Dr. Patel asked, her brow furrowed in confusion. "It's as if he's speaking their language." Commander Hawkins shook her head, her expression a mix of concern and grudging admiration. "I have no idea, but I don't like it one bit. Those things are dangerous, and he's acting like they're old friends." Ethan, however, was undeterred by the skepticism of his crewmates. He continued to spend more and more time with the predators, studying their behavior and trying to decipher their complex communication patterns. To his delight, he discovered that the creatures were not merely mindless killers, but highly intelligent and social beings. They have their own hierarchies, their own familial structures, Ethan explained excitedly to the rest of the team. They're not just violent predators, they're a sophisticated culture with their own language and customs. The others listened, their expressions ranging from disbelief to a grudging fascination. As Ethan continued to share his discoveries, a few of the more open-minded members of the team began to reconsider their stance on the alien creatures. One day, as Ethan was sitting with a group of the predators, he noticed that they seemed agitated and restless. Carefully, he approached the largest of the creatures, a massive, alpha-like individual, and tried to understand what was troubling them. To his horror, he realized that the rest of the exploration team had decided to take action against the predators. They were planning a coordinated attack, using the team's advanced weaponry to subdue or eliminate the threat. Ethan rushed back to the camp, his heart racing. "You can't do this," he pleaded with Hawkins and the others. "These creatures are intelligent, sentient beings. They're not just mindless animals." But the commander was unyielding. "We can't take that risk, Nakamura. Those things are too dangerous to be allowed to roam free. We have a duty to protect ourselves and our mission." Desperate, Ethan tried to reason with his crewmates, sharing everything he had learned about the predators' language, their social structures, and their apparent desire for peaceful coexistence. But his pleas fell on deaf ears. As the team prepared to move out and confront the predators, Ethan knew he had to take drastic action. Slipping away unnoticed, he raced back to the area where the predators were gathered, warning them of the impending attack. To his amazement, the predators seemed to understand his frantic gestures and vocalizations. They let out a series of rumbling, growling sounds that Ethan interpreted as a call to action. Moments later, The massive creatures were moving swiftly through the undergrowth, heading straight for the human camp. Ethan knew he had to get back to the camp and try to stop the attack before it was too late. As he ran, he could hear the sounds of the predators closing in, their thunderous footsteps shaking the ground beneath him. When Ethan finally reached the camp, he found the rest of the team already engaged in a fierce battle with the predators. Laser rifles blazed, and the air was filled with the roars of the enraged creatures. "Stop," Ethan cried, throwing himself between the two sides. "Please, you have to listen to me." But his pleas were drowned out by the chaos of the conflict. The predators, sensing Ethan's distress, let out a deafening roar and charged towards the human camp, their massive jaws open in a terrifying display of force. Ethan watched in horror as the battle unfolded, his heart torn between his loyalty to his crewmates and his newfound understanding of the alien predators. He knew he had to find a way to end the conflict before it was too late, but the stakes had never been higher. A clash of worlds. The chaos of the battle was deafening. Laser fire crackled through the air as the exploration team desperately tried to fend off the charging predators. Ethan watched in horror as the two sides clashed, each driven by a fierce determination to protect their own. Despite Ethan's frantic attempts to intervene, the conflict only seemed to escalate. The predators, sensing the team's aggression, responded with a ferocity that caught the humans off guard. One by one, the exploration team members were forced to retreat, their weapons proving increasingly ineffective against the massive, armored bodies of their alien adversaries. Ethan, caught in the middle of the fray, found himself torn between his loyalty to his crewmates and his growing understanding of the predators. He knew he had to find a way to stop the fighting, but the stakes were higher than ever. As the battle raged on, Ethan noticed that the predators were not simply attacking indiscriminately. Instead, they seemed to be targeting specific members of the team, those who had been the most vocal in their opposition to the creatures. "They're not trying to kill us all," Ethan realized with a mixture of horror and fascination. "They're defending themselves, protecting their own." Desperate to end the bloodshed, Ethan tried again to reach out to the predators, using the same gestures and vocalizations he had learned over the past weeks. To his astonishment, the creatures paused, their attention shifting towards the young xenoanthropologist. Seizing the opportunity, Ethan moved between the two sides, his hands raised in a plea for peace. "Please, stop," he cried, his voice carrying over the din of the battle. "This doesn't have to end in violence. We can find a way to coexist, to understand each other." For a moment, the fighting seemed to slow, as both the exploration team and the predators turned their attention towards Ethan. The commander, her face etched with a mixture of confusion and grudging respect, watched as the young man continued to plead with the alien creatures. "Nakamura, what are you doing?" Hawkins shouted, her finger poised on the trigger of her rifle. "Get out of the way. We need to eliminate these things before they destroy us all." But Ethan refused to budge, his gaze locked with the predator's gleaming eyes. "No, Commander," he said, his voice firm and unwavering. "These creatures are not mindless killers. They're intelligent, sentient beings, and they're only defending themselves." To the astonishment of the entire crew, the predators seemed to understand Ethan's words. They let out a series of rumbling, growling sounds, and Ethan responded in kind, his body language shifting to a posture of appeasement and understanding. Slowly, the predators began to back away, their attention now focused solely on the young xenoanthropologist. Hawkins and the others watched in stunned silence, their weapons lowered as they witnessed the unfolding scene. "I don't believe it," Dr. Patel whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. "Ethan's actually communicating with them." As the tension began to dissipate, Ethan turned to face his crewmates, a look of determination on his face. "You see," he said, his voice tinged with a hint of triumph, "these creatures are not our enemies. They're just trying to protect their home, just as we are." Hawkins, her expression a mix of begrudging admiration and uncertainty, nodded slowly. I don't know what to say, Nakamura. You've managed to do what none of us thought possible." Ethan smiled, his gaze shifting back to the predators, who now seemed to be regarding him with a newfound respect. "This is just the beginning," he said, his voice filled with hope. "I believe we can forge a lasting peace if we're willing to open our hearts and minds to the wonders of this alien world." A newfound respect. In the aftermath of the confrontation, the exploration team found themselves in a state of uncertainty and awe. Ethan's remarkable ability to communicate with the alien predators had shattered their preconceptions and forced them to reconsider their views on these formidable creatures. Commander Hawkins, once the staunchest opponent of any peaceful coexistence, now found herself grappling with a growing sense of respect and curiosity. As she observed Ethan's continued interactions with the predators, she couldn't help but be impressed by the young man's courage, empathy, and unwavering determination. "I have to admit, Nakamura, I'm starting to see things differently," Hawkins said, her voice tinged with a rare note of humility. "These creatures, they're not just mindless beasts, are they?" Ethan smiled, his eyes shining with a mixture of triumph and relief. "No, Commander, they're not. They're highly intelligent, social beings with their own complex culture and language. If we can learn to understand them, to see them as equals, I believe we can forge a remarkable partnership." Emboldened by Ethan's words, the rest of the exploration team began to approach the predators with a newfound sense of openness and curiosity. Dr. Patel, the xenobiologist, immersed herself in studying the creature's physiology and behavior, while the xenorchaeologists scoured the planet for evidence of the predator's ancient history and civilization. As the days turned into weeks, the tension that had once permeated the camp slowly began to dissipate. The predators, sensing the humans' shift in attitude, became increasingly receptive to their overtures of friendship. They would often approach the camp, allowing the researchers to observe them and even, on rare occasions, to interact with them directly. Ethan, meanwhile, continued to play a crucial role in facilitating this newfound understanding. He spent countless hours studying the predators' language and customs, carefully translating and interpreting their complex vocalizations and body language. Gradually, he was able to teach the rest of the team how to communicate with the creatures, opening up a world of possibilities for cooperation and collaboration. One day, as Ethan was deep in conversation with a group of predators, he suddenly turned to the rest of the team, a look of excitement on his face. "They've agreed to help us," he exclaimed. "They understand that we're here to explore and study this world, and they're willing to share their knowledge and assist us in our mission." Hawkins and the others listened in stunned silence as Ethan relayed the predator's offer. It was a remarkable turn of events, a testament to the power of communication and the willingness to see beyond perceived differences. "This is incredible," Dr. Patel breathed, her eyes shining with wonder. "Just think of the discoveries we could make, the knowledge we could gain, if we worked together with these amazing creatures." Hawkins nodded, a small smile tugging at the corners of her lips. "I have to admit, Nakamura, you've proven us all wrong. These predators, they're not the mindless killers we thought they were. They're intelligent, sentient beings, and they're offering us a chance to learn from them." Ethan beamed, his heart swelling with pride and joy. "This is just the beginning, Commander. I believe that by forging a partnership with these predators, we can unlock the secrets of this world, and perhaps even of the entire galaxy." As the team began to make preparations to collaborate with their new alien allies, a sense of excitement and wonder permeated the camp. The once fearsome predators were now regarded as valuable partners, their knowledge and expertise eagerly sought after by the eager human researchers. Ethan, at the center of this remarkable transformation, couldn't help but feel a deep sense of fulfillment. He had proven that with empathy, understanding, and a willingness to see the world through a different lens, even the most daunting of challenges could be overcome. A remarkable partnership. As news of the exploration team's newfound partnership with the alien predators spread through the interstellar community, the reaction was one of utter disbelief and amazement. How could a group of human researchers, once terrified of these formidable creatures, now work alongside them in perfect harmony. The other members of the exploration team, once skeptical and wary, found themselves swept up in the excitement and wonder of this remarkable alliance. They eagerly dove into the task of learning the predator's language and customs, determined to bridge the gap between their two species. Under Ethan's guidance, the team quickly discovered that the predators were far more than just savage hunters. They were highly intelligent, deeply social beings with a rich cultural heritage and a profound understanding of their home planet. "It's incredible," Dr. Patel marveled, her eyes shining with excitement. "These creatures have developed advanced hunting techniques, intricate communication systems, and even a rudimentary form of technology. They're not just mindless killers. They're a civilization in their own right." As the researchers delved deeper into the predator's world, they began to uncover a wealth of knowledge and insights that could revolutionize their understanding of the galaxy. The predators shared their intimate knowledge of the planet's geography, its ecosystems, and the subtle interplay of its various life forms. Ethan, in particular, was fascinated by the predators' sophisticated social structures and their apparent reverence for the natural world. He spent countless hours observing their interactions, carefully decoding their complex vocalizations and body language. "They're not just a collection of individuals," Ethan explained to the rest of the team. "They have a deep sense of community, a shared history and cultural identity, and they see themselves as the guardians of this planet, tasked with maintaining the delicate balance of its ecosystems." As the team's understanding of the predators grew, so too did their respect and admiration. Gone were the days of fear and suspicion. In their place, a genuine appreciation for the remarkable creatures had blossomed. "They're not our enemies," Hawkins said, her voice tinged with a newfound respect. "They're our partners, our guides to unlocking the secrets of this world. If we can learn to work together, the possibilities are endless." And so, the exploration team and the predators embarked on a journey of discovery, their once uneasy alliance now forged into a deep and abiding partnership. Together, they explored the planet's uncharted regions, uncovering ancient ruins and untapped natural resources. They studied the intricate web of life that sustained the planet's ecosystems, and they shared their findings with the wider scientific community. Ethan, the once idealistic young xenoanthropologist, had become the linchpin of this remarkable collaboration. His unwavering determination, his empathy, and his ability to bridge the cultural divide had earned him the respect and admiration of both his human crewmates and the alien predators. As the team's mission progressed, the once unthinkable notion of a human-predator partnership had become the stuff of legend. Tales of their exploits and discoveries spread like wildfire through the interstellar community, inspiring a new generation of explorers and researchers to follow in their footsteps. And at the heart of it all was Ethan, the human who had dared to see the world through the eyes of the deadliest predator in the galaxy, and in doing so, had forged a bond that would change the course of history. The galaxy's astonishment. As the exploration team's collaboration with the alien predators continued to flourish, news of their remarkable partnership began to spread through the interstellar community. What had once been the stuff of nightmares, the idea of humans befriending the deadliest predators in the galaxy, had now become a source of wonder and admiration. From the far-flung corners of the known universe, scientists, diplomats, and curious onlookers alike flocked to the newly discovered planet, eager to witness this historic alliance firsthand. They had heard the tales, the legends of the young human explorer who had somehow managed to bridge the gap between the two species, and they were determined to see it for themselves. When the first wave of visitors arrived, they were greeted with a sight that defied all expectations. There, in the heart of the alien world, stood the exploration team, working side by side with the towering predators, their once fearsome demeanor now tempered by a newfound sense of respect and cooperation. "It's incredible," whispered one of the visiting xenobiologists, her eyes wide with wonder. "I can scarcely believe my eyes. These creatures are not just mindless killers. They're intelligent, sentient beings, and they're collaborating with the humans as equals." As the visitors observed the interactions between the humans and the predators, they were struck by the effortless ease with which the two species communicated and worked together. Ethan, the young xenoanthropologist who had spearheaded this remarkable partnership, moved among them with the confidence and authority of a seasoned diplomat, translating the complex vocalizations of the predators and facilitating the exchange of knowledge and discoveries. "He's become their champion," murmured one of the visiting diplomats, his voice tinged with a mixture of awe and envy. "The human who has won the trust and respect of the galaxy's deadliest predators. Truly, this is a historic moment." Indeed, as word of the exploration team's accomplishments spread, Ethan found himself hailed as a hero, his name whispered with reverence and admiration throughout the interstellar community. The once skeptical commander, Hawkins, had become one of his staunchest supporters, her initial doubts long since replaced by a deep respect and pride in the young man's achievements. "I never thought I'd see the day," Hawkins admitted, her eyes shining with a rare smile. But Ethan has proven that with empathy, understanding, and a willingness to see the world through different eyes, even the most daunting of challenges can be overcome. As the visiting dignitaries and researchers continued to marvel at the human-predator partnership, they began to understand the true depth and significance of what had been accomplished. This was not just a story of scientific discovery or cultural exchange. It was a testament to the power of communication, of seeing beyond the surface and embracing the inherent humanity, or in this case, the inherent alienity, in all sentient beings. And at the center of it all was Ethan, the young explorer who had dared to dream of a future where the galaxy's deadliest predators could be seen not as enemies, but as allies. A future where the boundaries between species could be bridged, and the secrets of the universe could be unlocked through the power of understanding and cooperation. As the visiting dignitaries prepared to depart, they carried with them a newfound sense of hope and wonder, their minds already whirring with the possibilities that this remarkable partnership might hold for the future of the galaxy. The galaxy's champion. As the news of the exploration team's remarkable partnership with the alien predators continued to spread, Ethan Nakamura found himself at the center of a whirlwind of attention and adulation. From the far-flung corners of the galaxy, scientists, diplomats, and curious onlookers flocked to the newly discovered planet, eager to witness this historic alliance firsthand. Ethan, once a young and idealistic xenoanthropologist, had become a living legend, the human who had dared to bridge the gap between two seemingly incompatible species and forge a bond of mutual understanding and respect. His name was whispered with reverence, his actions celebrated as a triumph of communication, empathy, and the power of seeing the world through different eyes. As the visiting dignitaries and researchers observed the seamless collaboration between the exploration team and the alien predators, they were left utterly amazed and humbled. These were not mindless killers, they realized, but highly intelligent, sentient beings with their own rich culture and a profound connection to the natural world. Ethan Nakamura has single-handedly rewritten the script on interspecies relations, marveled one of the visiting xenobiologists, her eyes shining with a mixture of awe and admiration. He has shown us that by approaching the unknown with open minds and a willingness to learn, we can forge bonds that transcend the boundaries of species and culture. The young xenoanthropologist, once a relative unknown, now found himself the subject of intense scrutiny and acclaim. Delegations from across the galaxy sought his counsel, eager to learn from his experiences and apply the lessons he had learned to their own worlds. Ethan, however, remained humble and steadfast in his commitment to the partnership he had forged. He continued to divide his time between the exploration team and the alien predators, serving as a bridge between the two worlds and ensuring that the exchange of knowledge and discovery continued unabated. "This is not just about me," Ethan would often say, his voice calm and measured. "It's about the power of communication, of seeing beyond the surface and embracing the inherent worth of all sentient beings. If we can learn to do that, the possibilities for cooperation and understanding are endless." As the months passed, Ethan's reputation only grew, and he was hailed as a true champion of the galaxy. a symbol of the transformative power of empathy, curiosity, and a willingness to challenge preconceptions. The exploration team, once a group of wary and skeptical individuals, had become a shining example of what could be achieved when people of different backgrounds and perspectives came together in pursuit of a common goal. Under Ethan's guidance, they had not only forged a remarkable partnership with the alien predators, but had also uncovered a wealth of scientific and cultural knowledge that would forever change the course of interstellar exploration. And at the heart of it all was Ethan, the young human who had dared to see the world through the eyes of the galaxy's deadliest predator. And in doing so, had become a beacon of hope and inspiration for all who dreamed of a future where the boundaries between species could be bridged, and the secrets of the universe could be unlocked through the power of understanding and cooperation. As the exploration team prepared to depart the alien world, Ethan knew that their work was far from over. The bonds they had forged, the discoveries they had made, were just the beginning of a new era of interstellar exploration and cooperation, and he was determined to be at the forefront of this movement, using his unique perspective and experience to help guide the galaxy towards a brighter, more harmonious future.